Hello, welcome to Truth Be Told Minuteman Report, coming to you live from an undisclosed location somewhere in North America. I am your Truth Be Told Minuteman, Robert Hensley, and today we're going to talk about new evidence of UFO fleets over Asia, right? Kind of crazy. Don't know if you've been looking at the reports, if you've been following along, but we've got some really interesting evidence coming up to prove that we have evidence of UFO fleets over Asia. So these reports are from this past week, right? So on what was it? So we have on Saturday, December 4th. So this was not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before. Saturday, December 4th, from Punjab's Pathankot, there was a mysterious line of bright lights seen moving through the night sky. The line of lights were seen for 5 to 7 minutes around 7 p.m. local time before they just vanished into the sky. Now, this is a really interesting video. I'm going to pop this up here. And again, if you're listening on to the audio podcast and you can't see the video, go to YouTube, youtube.com/C/Truth Be Told Radio TV, or just search Truth Be Told Radio TV and click on Minuteman Report episode 46, and you can watch this video that I'm about to share right here. Okay, so this is an actual cell phone video from Punjab of the lights that they saw in the sky. All right, so the video is it's a little blurry, it's a little shaky, but you see this kind of long line of lights in the sky. Now, people were reporting that this was multiple UFOs, that it wasn't just one craft, and this seems to be a trend, especially in the Asian Pacific area. This is because then a few days later, on Wednesday, December 8th, reports from Kandahar were that there was a pilot flying 39,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean, spotted a fleet of mysterious lights moving and cycling over the sea. Now, he claimed that this was an entire fleet. They were flying in a weird formation, and as they were moving, right, so as they're moving along, the light at the end, closest to the camera, would kind of dissipate and then would be replaced by another light at the far end of the formation, away against the horizon. And they would continue cycling like this until eventually they just kind of disappear. So I've got the video from that too, because of course there's video evidence of that. So hold on just a second, we'll pop this up, and here is that video.
I don't know what that is.
That is some weird shit.
Bonnie 2735, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.7, good day. Ho Chi Minh 120.7, good day, Bonnie 2735.
That's something flying.
And poof, just like that, disappear, vanish from the sky. So the question is, why are all of these lights showing up now? Why are these fleets of UFOs showing up now? And especially over areas of the world that are incredibly densely populated. Is this sign of an alien invasion? Is there something that we're not catching on to? Again, there's been a lot of talk about UFOs in recently. And would be great to know what else is going on out there. Just thought that it was odd that 1 week, 2 reports, again, over very densely populated areas of the planet, that we've got not just one craft being seen, but multiple crafts at one time, right? And then, of course, while I'm researching, evidence of UFO fleets over Asia, there comes out this story in the U.S. Sun. Right, and this came out, I believe, on Saturday, where a professor has been testing the brains of people who say that they've experienced UFO encounters and the symptoms that they display. Now, Dr. Gary Nolan is a professor of pathology at Stanford University, and he's published, 300 research articles. He holds about 40 U.S. patents, and he's spent the last decade analyzing materials from alleged unidentified aerial phenomenon cases. Now, here's the thing. Nolan had originally kind of been called in to work on this case of a small skeleton that people believed was possibly alien. And then what was eventually revealed was that it was actually a human skeleton, and there were a number of mutations in the skeletal genes which could potentially explain why it was so small. So, because of his work in whole genome sequencing and all of this stuff that he does, very scientific, which is above my pay grade. But what he's been talking about, or what this led to, was that then the CIA and starts coming to him, and they want him to start using his blood analysis instrumentation and his expertise to look into cases of pilots who have been close to unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? Who've seen or experienced UFOs and who seem to be showing signs of extreme or horrible brain damage, right? And so he described the abnormal effects and what he's seen in the MRIs on these patients. This is what he said. If you've ever looked at an MRI of someone with multiple sclerosis, there's something called white matter disease. It's basically scarring, right, on the brain. It looks like a big white blob or multiple white blobs scattered throughout the MRI. It's essentially dead tissue where the immune system has attacked the brain. It's probably the closest thing that you could come to if you wanted to look at a snapshot of what has happened to these individuals. You can pretty quickly see that there's something wrong. Now, there are, I assumed, he's got 50, 60 people. He's got approximately 100 patients and all of these guys are defense or governmental personnel or people working in the aerospace industry, right? So that's kind of shaky, right? So these people who've worked for the government, who've experienced, right, encountered UFOs, now have brain damage, which is similar to what we see in multiple sclerosis patients. Now, Dr. Kit Green also studied some of the same patients, right? What they're referring to as a smorgasbord of patients, and they're saying that part of what these patients have been experiencing from this scarring on their brain is that they hear weird noises, buzzing in their heads. They've gotten sick, and a lot of people really have complained about having felt sickness as soon as the event happened. Now, the other thing that they've noticed about these people is that there's an overconnection, right? And this is a quote, overconnection of the neurons between the head of the caudate and the putamen, something. Anyway, so apparently this is this overconnection. They're not sure whether or not it was caused by the experience or if it was something that they all had in common before the experience. But what they did say is that a quarter of the MRI patients who had claimed to have an encounter, they all died from their injuries. Right? That's something we don't talk about. We don't really talk about the number of people who experience this phenomena and then die because of the illness or the sickness or the symptoms that they get after. So they're saying that the symptoms that the majority of the patients were found to have symptoms identical to Havana syndrome, but that some people who had seen UAPs didn't have Havana syndrome, but instead showed a wide range of varying symptoms. So, so that's pretty interesting. And of course, all of this is happening and all of this we've got fleets over Asia. We've got, finding out now that patients who work for the government or who work in aerospace industry who have experiences are having brain damage and dying from symptoms that they can't 100% connect to their experiences. And all of this is coming out right as Congress is passing a landmark defense bill that will set up a new UFO office, right, which is set to probe strange encounters. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We talked about how they were setting up this kind of quote-unquote X-Files office, and that MUFON wanted to be involved in that in some way. So, and of course, all of this comes about as well at the time that China's rover has discovered a strange hut or a little house, some cubed shape anomaly on the dark side of the moon. So, I don't know, just me, and it's just my opinion, but I feel like there's probably something coming to a head here. I feel like all of this information it seems a little confusing now, and there seems to be a lot of it in a short amount of time, but it feels like there's some edge of truth. Something is going to come of all of this stuff. It feels like it's been long enough now, and now the truth is about to emerge. And I think that a lot of people are ready for it, right? We've spent too long in the dark, not really sure what's going on or why we're seeing lights in the sky or why people are being abducted and taken, and it's just time. It's time. So, this has been a new live episode of the Truth Be Told Minuteman Report. Again, I'm your host, Robert Hensley, and thank you for joining me today. Be sure to tune in the rest of the week, right? Because Truth Be Told has 3 times a week that you can see new content. That's me on Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific. Bonnie Burkert has, more kind of mysticism and metaphysical stuff on Wednesdays with Truth Be Told Transformation at 3 p.m. And of course, there's the original Truth Be Told live with Tony Sweet on Fridays at 3 p.m. Pacific as well. You can watch all of that live here on YouTube. Again, youtube.com/C/Truth Be Told Radio TV, or just search Radio TV, Truth Be Told Radio TV, and you'll find us. Be sure to like and share and subscribe to our content, right? That'd be great. And if you need any other information, you can find out more about us online at www.truthbetoldworldwide.com. All right, everyone. Until next time.